Hey, angel mommies and daddies. Welcome, parents, and family members, anyone that is grieving the loss of a child, or perhaps just listening in to gather some insights into how to handle the absolute gut-wrenching pain that occurs from the moment you find out that your child is no longer in their body. This is not a religious podcast. This is not me telling you what to feel or think about the afterlife. That's on you guys. But as an angel mom, my name is Amy Fulmer. My son died when he was 19 years old on June 1st of 2014. In my world and in my book, and in my teachings, that is the moment you start your grief walk. Okay, so when you hear the term grief walk, the minute, the very second you hear or see that your child is gone, that is the very moment your grief walk starts. And it continues every second of every day and every moment of your life. And I can't speak to what happens after we leave as parents, because I haven't crossed that bridge yet. But what I'm here to do is share with you what has worked for me after 12 years and hopefully give you a little grief relief. And that is another term in my book that I talk about. Grief relief is absolutely essential. And we're going to be talking about that more. But today I got a notion to talk about something that happened to me that I'm pretty sure you guys are going to experience on one level or another. And it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of unfortunate things that happen when you lose a child. And the quicker, I don't mean quick like it has to happen quick, but when you start to understand there's some truths that you're going to have to deal with that you don't want to, it's going to make your journey a lot. Not that it's easier, but maybe less painful. If you kind of know what the roadmap looks like a little bit. When my son died, the resources were very scant. YouTube really didn't have much. Facebook groups were just getting started. Those are all great resources, but the thing about online groups is you have to participate. The premise of this podcast is to make it so wherever you're at, whether you're in your workplace, on your lunch break, in your car having a breakdown, brushing your teeth in the morning, you can just flip this on and you're hearing a voice that knows your heart. This is not someone talking about something that they are trained to talk in, although that's wonderful. I'm not discounting therapy, but I'm one of you guys. Okay, I've been there. And what I wanted to share today is very, very, very important. And it was very startling to me. And to this day, it still irritates my soul. I'm not saying this is going to happen to every single one of you, but I want you to be prepared that it could happen. And this could involve family members, friends, community members, possibly teachers, anybody in your circle. Okay. Let me tell you what happened to me, and then you guys can kind of fit it where it goes. My son had a big circle of friends. I had a big circle of friends and acquaintances. Well, I thought some were friends. Okay, let me reframe that. I had a large, for me, because I'm a pretty private person, I had a large community around me. 99% of them were wonderful. And I mean wonderful. And I wouldn't be here today without them. And that includes my family, my sisters, my brother, my inner circle. They held me up when I couldn't hold myself up. And for me, God held me up. Okay. But again, I'm not getting into the religious aspect of it. That's not the point of this podcast. But I had a very close friend. This was a mother of a friend of my son's that we had known since the boys were almost like 3 years old, okay? This child was at my house. I was good friends with his mother, or I thought I was good friends. I thought I was good friends with the mother. Well, After my son died, there was a lot of, well, I don't want to get into the circumstances. I cover that in my book, but there was a lot of mystery about what happened the night he died, how he died, who was there, and I could not get any answers. I'm going to talk about that in a later podcast. I don't want to digress from the message for today, but the reality is that I thought this mother was near and dear to my heart. Well, I found out how quickly she flipped. She flipped, and for some reason, she got very insensitive to what happened. And that was shocking. Now, here's the part I want you guys to key in on. I was almost confused by her behavior. She got very clinical, very cold, very defensive, didn't want to talk about it. I know her son might have known what happened, and I wasn't looking to prosecute anybody. It's not what I do. Justice is not mine. It's just not mine. But we were having, well, you're in shock for almost a year after your child dies. So you're struggling through relationships. And we were talking, this mother and I, it was about 6 to 8 weeks after Kenji had died. Kenji's my son. And I was having a really bad day, which is par for the course, way par for the course. And she said to me, Amy, it's been, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks. It's time for you to get over it and move on. Okay, those are her words. Let me say this again. It's time for you to get over it and move on. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's a mic drop moment. Well, I hung up on the phone, and I never spoke to her again or saw her again. She never reached out. She never apologized. That was it. So what am I telling you guys today? I pray for all of you listening to this podcast that nothing like this ever happens to you. The dagger in my heart was like kicking a dog when they're down. This is someone who I thought was my friend. Let me tell you guys something right now. If you encounter, I don't care who it is in your life, someone who exhibits some toxic or cold or unempathetic behavior, I mean, they don't have to gush over you. And they don't have to be your therapist. I'm not saying that. But to receive words like I received is unacceptable. Okay, so I'm here to tell you now it's unacceptable. It's toxic behavior. It's cruel. It's unempathetic. And it's inappropriate. I hope that mine was a one-off kind of a situation. But I don't know. And the whole point of this podcast is to give you guys a place to come and hear what it takes to make it through, so you don't have to be blindly stabbing in the dark like I was. There was no roadmaps when my son died, and that is one of the reasons why in the description of this video you're going to find two things. You're going to find the link to my parent survival checklist, which is a free download. It has been downloaded in over 70 countries. Okay, that is a tool for friends, family, community members to use for anyone who has just lost a child, or in fact, anybody. Number 2 is a link to my book on Amazon. The title of the book is Don't Trip Potato Chip. My son used to tell that to me when I would get worked up. He'd be, "Oh, Mom, don't trip potato chip." And that is the story of my journey the night my son died. Okay, so it started the moment of the grief walk. It's a brutal read, but it's also very healing. So that's available as well. I also want you guys to know that cutting anybody out of your life that is insensitive to your heart space after your child dies, they got to go. And I mean, your cutoff game has got to be big. There's no negotiating because if someone's going to say something to you like that once, that shows you where their heart is at, which means they don't know where you're coming from. You as an angel mom or dad cannot put yourself in a vulnerable position to be around people that don't get you. I get you. This podcast gets you. And you deserve all the grace and love that anybody can have, because until you go through losing your child, you are clueless. But you don't have to be cold, cruel, and calculating. So if this sounds a little harsh or a little intense, I have strong feelings about angel parents. You guys, I'm very possessive over. And I will go to the bat or I will go to the mat for any angel parent because I know your heart. So I want to leave you with that today. These are going to be very short messages. You guys can't handle a lot, especially if you're within the first 2 years of your grief walk. It's just too much. You don't need an hour podcast. You don't need seminars. You don't need this. You don't need that. This is for a quick jolt of grief relief and understanding. It's like a life raft. It's something to grab onto. And I also want to ask you guys if you can like and share this video to get the word out to other parents. YouTube does a beautiful job of having that share button is really, really great, and it all helps the algorithm. So I want to thank you guys for today. I love all of you mommies and daddies. I'm with you, and I promise you that there will be a better day. Okay, bye for now.